post-harvest handling. Principally, these have been a major problem in the country, be it any sector or any type of crop. We don't have a good infrastructural development, and more than several publications have had it, more than 60% of our food gets spoiled on the field. So this has been a perennial problem for our farmers, and this is something we should focus, because if farmers, we have about 40%, and doing about 40% of farmers are peasants, and not on industrial scale, and 60% of their produce getting spoiled on farm. This is a major problem. Second problem that I've seen is usually there are no off-takers of this agricultural produce. So because there are no off-takers, the farmers are not encouraged to do a type of farming. For instance, now, maize. The federal government about 3 months ago banned maize importation to the country. Within same period of just about 1 month, the price of maize have almost doubled. The price of maize have almost doubled, and both poultry farmers are now complaining. The food industry are complaining because the farmers are not growing enough. That's one. Secondly, post-harvest handling is not in place. And thirdly, the off-takers, there's no value chain that how after farming, the harvest, and it will get to the off-takers. And usually the off-takers too, they don't need the whole corn. Somebody needs to be in the middle, the primary, after the primary producer to a post-primary producer. That's maybe a corn now. They need to make it into corn grits and make it into the jam. So we see that these are the sectors that there are no specialization, and that is what is discouraging our farmers. So the potential we have is huge, and the farmers are below their potential, the processors are below their potential. So these are the missing link that need to be tied very well, and just the value chain need to be linked from farmers to the finished end user. If I take another instance of cowpea or soybean, same way that 60% of soybean end up getting spoiled in the farm because there's no value chain. Also, if you take, in fact, there are perishable crops like banana. These are far higher than 60%. In fact, banana that we've seen in the literature, more than 70% get spoiled on the farm just because of post-harvest handling and cross-linking from the primary producer to the end user. So these are the major problems that we need to tie. And to the big one of adding value to our crop, to our farm produce. And this is where my passion lies in the industry. The last report of our food import bill shown that Nigeria imports rather, close to, that is 2015 data, close to $432 billion. That's our food import bill out of 2015. I've not seen any report of 2016 and 17. That's the last one I knew, because I have to write majorly on that. A country that imports 432 billion. I think 2017 was 500 and something billion, but I can't remember. But I remember that of 2015 very well. And majorly, these are food products or food raw material that can be easily produced in our country. Take, for instance, a crop from, maize, where we can produce glucose syrup, fructose syrup, maltose syrup, sorbitol, cornstarch, and these are imported from Turkey, from Egypt, from India, from Ukraine, and we end up supporting farmers in those countries. And largely, this should go to the farmers in Nigeria. After the farmers, the value chain that we harvest, post harvest, then supply the industry that we produce this raw material. Produce the raw material. So this missing link that our country is losing a lot of revenue to other country. Take, for instance, soybean. There are no company producing soy milk from soybean, and so there are some other value chain from soybean, and I can multiply it on and on and on. So we could generate revenue, increase our GDP primarily through agriculture in Nigeria. But as much as another agriculture contributes, the last we saw, contribute about 90% of our GDP. So we can triple that effect. Instead of focusing on oil, that is our 75% of our GDP, agriculture, if it will not be at par with oil, it will be very, very close. So there should be a lot of focus. That's the solution I prefer. Focus on agriculture, and more than agriculture, because like I said, if the farmers are growing, there's no careful plan of post-harvest handling in each of the produce, the farmers will be losing, as they are doing now. 60% of their farm produce getting spoiled on farm. So if we can focus on post-harvest handling and the other value chain to ensure that eventually the products get to the end user, our GDP can be increased significantly. And also, we can provide more job for our teeming population, especially the youth. So these are concern, are burden for our country. Our food import bill is increasing, and the government are putting up all the policy, physical policy, and to ensure that our food import bill does not increase. Good, all those policy by government banning maize. The other time, about in February, in May, the government remove forests for milk. So if you have to import milk products into the country, you don't source the forest through CBN. So you source the forest through what we call, you have to source your forest through the black market. So fine, these policies are good, but enough needs to be done to ensure that the policy is very effective and give back to the farmers, so that the farmers can concentrate on farming, and those in the industry can build on it, build on the primary producer. So this is what I have to say. I don't know if you have a further question or any question on all what I have just an overview of Nigerian food and agricultural outlay. Thank you so much, Dr. Oso. Are you hearing me? I can't hear you. Oh. Because I'm not hearing you. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Hear you. Hello? That's your phone.
JJ.
Yes.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Seems that we have
I can
network
hear you.
problem. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Mo ń gbọ́ yín now.
Okay. Thank you so much, JJ, for your a lot of lowdown on agricultural sector of Nigeria. Now, JJ is live. If you are there and you want to ask question from our guest tonight, like I said, he's a passionate person that very passionate about Nigerian agricultural sector and wants something to be done, even if it is today, as if it is possible. JJ, my question is to you is this: if you have chance to be the one that is leading agricultural sector in Nigeria, what is the first thing you will do?
First, like I said focus.
Hello?
Focus. Hello? Are you hearing me? Oh no. I can hear you. But I'm not hearing you. You muted. You
Can you hear
muted.
me?
Yes. But I'm on. I don't know. I think it's on your side. I can hear you now.
I think it's the, but I was hearing you. I think it was the network. Now, I asked a question and I said, for some of our viewers that are live, we are live on YouTube. And JJ has allowed him to download, because I know he's very passionate about agriculture and the food system of Nigeria. But JJ, my question is this. Let's say you are given the chance to lead the food agricultural sector of Nigeria. What is the first thing would you want to attempt?
Thank you so much. Like I've said, I said focus. Focus, though not a strategy, but focus on the agricultural sector. So one thing majorly I will do is Nigeria, you are more into agricultural policy, agricultural economics and all that. But practical, a measure that I will put in place is we have regions in Nigeria. We have the north, we have the south, we have the west, we have the east. Each of these regions have crops that are well domesticated in each of the region. Those days we have pyramid, we have groundnut pyramid in the north. Today is zero. We have cocoa doing very well in the west. Today it is almost zero. Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana have taken over the leadership of cocoa farming in West Africa, and there is no policies to support them, inputs to support them. So these are what should be put in place. Organize the farmers and do what I call cooperative farming. Organize the farmers into to do what they call cooperative farming. The north, what they could grow, organize them. The farmers that could grow the maize, not just one farmer, but it's a group of collective farmers. Excuse me. For dairy farming, organize them into a dairy cooperative farming. In the west, the cocoa farmers, organize them, give them training. So what I call it right organization, training, retrainings of the farmers. Second is the agricultural inputs. Fertilizer, good now that we are having Dangote fertilizer is coming on board. The fertilizer sectors have been like a mafia in Nigeria, and government have really pumping a lot of money, but there have been no there have been no the fertilizer is being diverted. Of course, corruption is one of the major things we need to tackle. I will say that next. First, as I said, is right organizing the farmers, because they need to be organized, they need to be trained and retrained. Second is how the farmers will have the right inputs, because we have organized them now, we have trained them, we have retrained them on how to do proper farming and all that. Then is how the inputs, agricultural input, will get to the farmers. Very, very, very important. All the agricultural inputs, those farmers, they know, you know better. All the agricultural farm input, fertilizer and etc. to the farmers. Third, I said it, the government, we necessarily must invest into infrastructure. And when we talk about infrastructure, road network to the farming, so that the produce don't get spoiled after farming season. So infrastructure. And part of the infrastructure, I will also say post-harvest handling. Very, very important. The roads to the farms are really bad. And doctors who know far more than me in this, because the farmers are suffering.
Okay.
The road.
Thank you, JJ.
So if I just want to summarize it more, let me summarize the fifth point I want to say. What we can easily produce in the country should not be imported into the country. Like I'm aware, in many European countries, you cannot import dairy product there. No. Even when, for me, being in industry, I work with international organization. When we want to develop, let's say we want to develop something involving milk, it will be seized, and the custom will seize it at their port. This is something we want to take to the lab and they will say, no, we should write and all that. So there are some products that we should ban. If we are not banning, or we should increase their duty and discourage importation. And government have been doing a lot in this, but they need to do more, because by just giving a policy to ban or to remove the product from accessing government forest is not enough. And that is why I've said the farmers need to be organized, the right input, investing in infrastructure and post-harvest handling, and even support the farmers. And I know the Bank of Industry on paper, Bank of Agriculture are doing all that on paper, but in practice, it is not well implemented. So this should be well implemented. It should be more holistic between the farmers and the industry. It should be well implemented. Thank you.
Okay, well, I have two more questions before we round off this session. We are online with JJ. I normally call him JJ. He's a food enthusiast, and he's loaded with passion on what we can do to help agriculture to tap the potentials and things that can be done in the agricultural sector in Nigeria. My next guest tomorrow will be talking about youth involvement in agriculture. He will be speaking from China. He has got something to share with the people. He's been in here, she's been here, and she moved there maybe about 7 years ago. And she will be calling in this section tomorrow live. So that's 9 a.m. GMT. 9 a.m. GMT, and that will be 5 p.m. China time. Why did I ask that? But you see, the first question is that, what about people who are not even interested in agriculture? What about that? The country has so much devised or turned their face into many other things that it was oil boom before, but now it's political jobs, so that people don't. What about people who say people are not really interested in agriculture? What do we do to that? Because you can make a lot of policies. What if people are not willing to work? What can we do to solve that problem?
Thank you so much. We say agribusiness. Agriculture is a big business, and there is a lot of potential and profit in agriculture, because this is what we eat. I just take an instance for a friend. We are discussing about rice farming, and we saw that there is the return on investment on rice is on monthly basis is about 25%. 25%. And where will you see that? So these are a way of encouraging and orientating the youths and the populace that agric is a big business. The money you use to invest in oil refinery, look at that humongous kind of money. You don't need 1/10 of that in agriculture. And yet, the disparate effect on the populace is so there. The profits. Without agriculture, there's no well-being. I'm telling you, I mean, everybody know. Without right investment in agriculture, there's no well-being. We are not going to be healthy. So we should know that. That try to orientate them. That's one thing we need to do. Mass orientation. We should be via the radio, via the TV, via everywhere from the school. The way that our curriculum also need to be redefined. That from primary school, that they make agriculture an option. Those days, when we are going to school, agriculture is a must. Unlike now that agriculture is not an option. No, and it should be well. It should be well communicated to them that to youths and to children growing that agriculture is a big business and there is a lot of profits in it. Beside that, well-being. Without a good agricultural sector, our pharmacy cannot develop, our industry cannot develop, because everything, agriculture is the foundation. Without it, there's no well-being. So these are way of encouraging youths to be involved in agriculture. And another one is using case study, example of people that have succeeded. Like we have people that pass through, they are farmers, or they study agriculture, and to the apex. Like we have a Nigerian, Dr. Additional, now the president of Africa Development Bank. These are case studies that can be used as a role model for the youths, that these are farmers, or they do something with farming, and they are highly successful. The way that we celebrate in the country, the musician, we celebrate people that are doctors alone. I mean, medical doctor, it's good to be medical doctors, and petroleum engineers. And we celebrated them and say, oh, these are people that are achievers. But farmers, we relegate them. And if you study agricultural economics, they see you as a backbencher. No. So we should have a role model that should be celebrated. Banks can adopt them, find a way. Each of the banks can adopt these agriculturists or people that they are farmers, to have a program, and instead of using musicians, and they have a program about agriculture and food processing, and they showcase that they support farmers, and when we support farmers, the country as a whole, we succeed together. So these are policies that the government can adopt, and primarily supported by CBN. So that would be my suggestion.
Yeah, time I said there will be 2 questions. I think the time will not take us too much to take the other question. JJ, thank you so much for coming on board on our live streaming on WeGro section, where we discuss matters arising in the agricultural sector in Africa, and sometimes we take case by case study. Today we discuss about Nigeria, and we look at the potentials. We hope one day Nigeria will move from potentials to reality. Thank you so much, JJ, on board. I hope next time we call you, we'll have time to discuss more on this. Thank you. Viewers,
thank you, Dr. Osu. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, JJ. This is how we are going to put an end to it today. Do tune tomorrow by 9 GMT to our live streaming for our guests who will be reaching from China. It has a blend of Africa and China now, and it's a young person. I want to really look at how we are going to reach, make youth involved in agriculture. Until we come your way tomorrow, I'll say bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in.